The two Castle, the one drops a little bit off a good second, off the claim last time, has a win in an off track, 3 for 3 to hit the board in an off track. That's now coming into firmly into play today. Although I will say this, and I'd like your opinion, you know, just because you handle the wet track at Belmont, to me, doesn't mean you're going to handle a wet track at Saratoga. It certainly doesn't hurt.
Ask Easy Goer.
Yeah.
Not the, I mean, they're not the same compositions when they're dry, so they're both adding the same product, water, so they're not the same.
You know what? I put she's a black belt in second. Now I'm looking as I'm talking, and she does have a really good second, the best race of her recent, maybe of her life for that matter.
Yes.
Back earlier, that was in March at Aqueduct in the mud. The reason I put her second is because she's one of the few that is confirmed to be off the pace in here. I think that's beneficial. Anna's first and third. Just a total bomb job in the slop last time, off the claim for Rob Atros. That's not a good sign.
No, I actually probably spent more time than warranted, because I think even when I came up with my answer, what I thought was, even though there's, I think Violent Point is actually going to sit a very good trip here. I don't think Violent Point is going to be one of the, I mean, it's supposed to be the 1, 2, and the 3, right? Going at it, the 7 to 5, the 8 to 5 shots, etc. I thought Violent Point could sit like 3 lengths off of it. And yesterday at about 8:30 in the morning, that seemed like a good idea. But as the races were taking place, I just told you about, you know, being up close to the pace yesterday. They add blinkers. It's Luis Saez on the outside. I didn't want the 7 to 5 shot. I didn't want the 8 to 5 shot. So Violent Point is the horse that I think is going to sit a very good trip. She's a black belt. Your number 4 is also going to be that. I thought I had the superior horse in that spot. Looking at these, they've all won on an off-going, except the 3, and the 3 has had only 2 tries and has a second in there. So I would think all 5 would stay, and I like Violent Point on top, and then I just True Castle. Now, who do you think who is going to lead after the first 2 furlongs?
It wouldn't shock me if Irad gets aggressive and tries to go.
I think that's his best tonic.
With the 1, you know, the 2 is very, very fast.
Yeah,
too.
I thought Anna's fast is. I'd be interested in what Irad, like, if he thought, like, if I use my energy, can I outrun her? I don't know that you can, so I don't know that I would.
Right, and then maybe I'll be in the 2-path press and theoretically the right spot anyway, but we'll see.
We'll see. But 5-1-2 in the opener.
Early pick 4 time. Now, this is not the true maiden special weight. You've heard me rag on this before. This is one of those RNA races. It doesn't tell you you got to read the conditions. If you look quickly at the top and just see what it is, you get nothing. This is one of those 2-year-old maiden special weights where, for horses that didn't sell or at 45,000 or less, the RNA angle in their most recent sale, 6 furlongs, the Colts and Geldings here.
I wonder if they did some data research and realized 50K was the magic number of, so 45 or less was a different animal, or they just picked it randomly.
It is a very weird number, 45,000. Very weird. You could only.
I would think like 75,000.
You just took it. You know, that's exactly what I was.
That was a number I would have thought of. Off the, somebody said to me, "You want to have races, 75,000."
Yep.
That'd just be the number.
Because 75,000 is still, for the most part, taking your Stone Streets, your Coolmores, your Seth Klarmans, those kind of people out of contention here. And I'm not saying that's what they wanted to do, but it's nice to level the playing field for the connections that can't spend that kind of money at a sale. I think it's really...
we agree that we think this is an excellent...
Oh, when Naira did this, I think this is the 3rd year.
Brian's thought is he wants an R next to maiden special weight at the top, because you will get the R when these horses come back.
You see it right here.
It's a great condition, so we want you to know...
Look at the 2 Sailor Speed. You see it right there. On debut,
R.
She's got the R.
That's this level.
Where's my R in the upper right-hand corner?
Yeah, big Scully, etc. Now, here's what's... I'm 173. Now, Mastery is the young horse. I said it before. I actually saw him win his Bob Hope at Del Mar. First day I ever went to Del Mar in the fall of 2017, 2017, 2016. But he only
Would he crash out after the San Felipe? Maybe?
that was it.
So that was it.
4 for 4 career. This horse,
Who trained him?
Bob. Oh, you goofball. 17,000 though.
Yeah.
I couldn't. That didn't make any sense. The horse
They
stayed
don't
for
all look a picture.
25,000. So I'm hoping he has 4 legs. But George Weaver
Got a win
bought this
yesterday.
horse for
George.
himself.
Yeah, I noticed that too. George got a win yesterday after a struggle. So
And I was just thinking. I mean, I don't know anything. I'm betting against. I'm picking and betting against Big Scully for the reason the less well angle. I'll get to that in a moment. But I was like, this horse has worked out. I think in today's day and age, what a lot of trainers want in the morning. He got in the gate and he did it, and I'm just like, but 17,000 for a horse who the stallion stands for 25. I'm like, but that's where I went. Mastery. I hope I have good early speed from the inside, and away we go with Ricardo Santana. On the other side of the block, Big Scully is the horse to beat off the debut race at 6-1. Finished third off the pace. I don't know that running style would win today, but I don't know that that's going to be the running style that's employed today for this offspring of cross traffic. Tyler Gaffalione, he's having, I think, when you take things in perspective, a very good meet.
I think that's a good call, because while he is now kind of the king of Kentucky, that doesn't mean you come up here and win a ton of races. He's done very, very well. He's got himself a nice foothold. Seems to be a good kid. Riding a lot for Mike Maker, especially in Kentucky, and that's bridged the gap to Saratoga. And for him to come up here and win 16%, and I don't want to name names, but there's some other guys up here not winning 16%.
Won the 4-star Dave, right?
He did. Got Stormy. You
know
name
what,
names.
I'll tell you one thing. When I saw Got Stormy, what I first thought about was, and then reiterated yesterday when I heard Frank Miramati's voice giving the changes, was not on YouTube, but I trust many of our audience has access to racing replays through Capital OTV Bet. But if you go and get the replay of the Breeders' Cup, you don't get the NBC feed, you get Santa Anita. And I happened to see...
There ain't nothing wrong with that, my friend.
And we were enjoying the Santa Anita Breeders' Cup together, and at the end of the day, Frank came down to where we were.
Yes.
And I just went up to him quickly, and I said to him, 98% of the people missed it. I said, but I want you to know, I caught it in the lane when Frank, who is great, said it's the filly versus the mare. I mean, just being completely cognizant that Uni and Get Storm... we're a filly and a mare, not just 2 fillies. And he laughed and he got it. So you go on there, and about the 8th pole, when it's clear they're going to run 1-2, he calls it's the filly versus the mare. So that was great. So Big Scully to me is the horse to beat here. I have a less well angle that I've talked about. This wouldn't necessarily qualify because 6-1 means there was some interest. I think we'll have to employ different running style here from the outside, and having Unbridled Song in the mix could definitely help. And then my first that I also took for third is number 3, St. Luke's for Rudy Rodriguez. Brilliant workout for this, 173.
Pink and yellow around St. Luke's, Mike Dub. Never a bad thing. 742, I have nothing clever to add. I like the experience. I like the outside attack post. My partner does allude to the fact that we might want to be up close today. Could be potentially problematic for Big Scully, but I think Tyler Gaffalione might just be on a horse that's much, much better than these. 742. I mentioned Osborne, a firster for Ron Moquette. Luis Saez is here. Got to be a good thing, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
and then Sailor Speed. Let's draw a line through the turf race back to the dirt. Wayne Potts, blinkers on. Maybe he goes a little bit earlier too.
I mean, there's enough bright professionals in that room that seeing how the race is going to be run and how races were run yesterday on a good racetrack. It isn't going to be good today. We would hope for that, but interesting race. On to the third. I don't need the office to tell me, but I shouldn't say it because it's not official, but I doubt this will be 5.5 furlongs on the melon. So 3-year-olds and up fillies and mares. Claim is $35,000. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. There is 1% chance this will not be an off.
Oh no, they're already confirmed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's already confirmed.
And that makes you weren't going to run.
Dispel the myth.
So the 1 and the 3 can run if they like.
Yeah, so as Anthony always says, and I wholeheartedly agree, we're not only handicapping the race, we're handicapping who's going to run in the actual race. You know, I came back to Kuzari one last time. Now, we go from Rob Atchis to Juan Vasquez. But, you know, this is a barn that I don't know a lot about, but it's 20% from a 30-horse sample off the claim. That's 6 for 30, correct?
Yeah. But, I mean,
that's not bad.
He's got... You know, I always say 5 of his 13 non-winners hit the board.
Right.
You know, this is a pretty special place.
Rises in class off a 2L. That's problematic. But again, we're running in a watered down field here. Not a lot of tactical speed. So again, it's only going to be a couple races, but definitely take note of how the track is playing. Here's the MTO with Tenderness. I think is a player in here. I mentioned Wayne Potts earlier. Second off the claim, we've got speed from the inside. We'll cut back off 7 last time. And then number 3, Rosie's Peach, the other MTO. Not a lot of speed here as well, at least if nothing else comes in off a win at Belmont. Luis Saez, we think, is going to ride as well.
My thought would be that the 2 and the 6 are the strongest participants to scratch. I would also think the 7 would probably scratch, but I would stay in and try and use that early speed and take my chances.
Yeah, I could see that.
Who else?
There's not a lot of speed in there.
There's not a lot of speed, but Smooth Pebble, who's 7-5 on the morning line for the turf race, the debut was on a clear, fast racetrack at Gulfstream Park and was a terrible effort. And, you know, I'm staying in.
I tend to agree with you.
I'm staying in.
Good wet track number.
Yes.
Speed.
And the 2 MTOs, and listen, you don't hear much talk about the Tomlinson's numbers. When they came out, there was much more talk. But just the 2 MTOs Tomlinson numbers are 215 and 304. Remember the other day, you know, 480 is like the ceiling. 215 is about as awful as you can get for a Tomlinson number. And this is not one of those races where the MTOs are going to be 4 to 5 and even money, in my opinion.
No, agree.
The 2 and the 6 are the 2 that I would think are coming out. Christophe Clement, I mean, he knows his horse, but I'm just looking at, I stay in. I asked Joel Rosario, use some speed, some giddy up in there. I'm guessing you're going to come from probably the number 5 or 4 post position at the worst. But I don't see anybody else in here that I'd be like, you know, I can get the purse today. You know, I can get it. So I'm staying with Smooth Pebble. I hope they stay in. I would want Tenderness more than I would want Rosie's Peach.
Definitely.
You know, I mean, they're 5 to 2 and 3 to 1 on the morning line. I would not have them that close to each other now. So for me, it would be 7-1-3. But it's the 3 is really, I think, I don't know which one of these turf entered horses are staying. You know, heck, I'd stay with Sky Kitten also on the outside at a big price. But 7-1-3 for me.
Take a break.
Don't you love when the MTO scratch?
Yeah, I never understand. If you can walk, you're running. Let's take a first break here on the Handicaps Report on a Wet and Wild Thursday in Saratoga. Stay tuned.
Wow. Have you?
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the capital region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Handicappers Report. Brian and Anthony with you. We were loading the ark in between the breaks, so we had to hustle back on here and get the animals on the ark. But yeah, look at this. This is wild. We know we're off the turf. That's all we know right now. We're checking the scratches, and nothing's popped up yet. We've got the racing. We've got Racing Across America coming up at 10 too, and since that's kind of gone to heck with these races off the turf, what we're planning on doing, what we hope, and that could be a work in progress in and of itself. We'll talk Alabama as well because I drew that card yesterday, but we're hopeful we can get some scratches on this card and we can double back to these off the turf races and go through them a little more in depth and provide some kind of insight in some way, shape, or form because as we said before the break, and as we will say going forward, we're handicapping not only the races, but who is or may not be in. So it is what it is here on a wild. I mean, this is seismic rain. There's no. I heard 1 to 3 inches yesterday when they said that, and now
you could raise the baseline.
Yeah, I hope
I've got 2 to 4 now.
Yeah, the over is trending at about minus 275 right now on that. So hopefully you got in that. Race 4, back to battle here. This is and always was on the main track. It'll be muddy or sloppy and sealed. It's a 1X for fillies and mares, 3 and up. We go 9 on the main track.
Now, I just say the race goes through more sunshine to a lot of people. My thought is these are. I know for you can as a horizontal player, but in this race as a single type of puzzle, I'm supposed to pick and you're supposed to bet against more moonshine. There's just, and now it comes up off going and all of that, and maybe she wins.
That was one of the main reasons to play against her, but still you have to play against her.
Yeah, you can't. She won on debut going 7/8, got a very nice number in the mud. That's fine. I want, and there's even money on the morning line. I want no part of any of that, even if this is helping Bill Mott's runners. So you have her second, I have her third. Misty Vale had the good effort at Saratoga, winning how she could maybe win again. But I took Ice Princess on top, making the third start since the early part of spring. Has never been out of the exacta on a wet going. Is inside, is not. I would reverse the 2 and the 1 because the 1 I think is going to get a very attractive trip in here, and
she's loose,
and she's going to be heck to pay, and she's going to be a higher number. So the 2 and the 1 would be switched for me. She's going to get the better trip and the better price. Those are the horses, by the way, you're supposed to pick, and the more moonshine. Listen, she could do it again, but not on my dime, not with that running style, not at that price.
Yeah, the 1's my best bet of the day. She completely bottomed out of field last time. Now she steps up today. Obviously, it's a better group, but it's not like let's take more moonshine out of the equation. We don't know what she is. None of the rest of these gals are any great shakes, and as you alluded to, she's got a pace advantage. Irad will put her on the lead. She'll be a decent enough price. Tom Amos has had a strong meet with limited starters of who he's brought here. A track and distance winner. Always want to be in front here going 9 furlongs, and they just don't ever catch you, it seems to be. More Moonshine could be a freak, and she apparently will get a racetrack today, but, nobody did a whole heck of a lot of a running in that debut. And that was thought to be a pretty salty field. 1 turn in the mud. She's going to be odds on here, and as Anthony said, and as I wholeheartedly agree with, you just have to make her beat you and just see what you have. Now, she probably gets helped by this racetrack, but that's okay. She's also going to be 3, 4 to 5, and you're allowed to look elsewhere. We're both trying to do it. Certainly,
I think in the
yeah, we
long
both
run,
have the 2 in the
those
mixers.
horses
Yeah,
bury you. I don't have the stats. It's just anecdotal to me.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
not playing the game betting horses like that. 3-year-olds out fillies and mares, maiden special weight, 6.5.
This will kick off to pick 6, and they bet this quite a bit. And this might not be a terrible day to throw out a $24, $36 ticket.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna have 3 races completely bottomed out, watched off the turf, where you might have 4 or 5 horses. 315 for me. Shalimar Gardens, Horatio De Paz, Silver Strand 9-5 on the morning line for Bill Mott
On debut.
You know, Shalimar Gardens ran in the mud, just missed on debut at Belmont. A little freshening since then. It's a very, very good barn. Jose Ortiz pops up, 27% riding for De Paz. A lot of works here too, so you'd kind of think, you know what, she could have gotten back before Saratoga, and here she is here. I think that's significant. Down inside, Ogotten Girl for Todd. She'll be on the lead with Saez. And then I don't know if Silver Strand, if we don't know something that other people do. The works are pretty sharp, I will say that. Or if David Aragona just said, you know what, they paid a big number for a Frosted. She's worked well, and there ain't much in here. So she's kind of sort of got to be bet. I don't know.
Silver Strand, I mean, you see my picks there. I think I actually think the race goes to Shalimar Gardens. You know, on paper, if Silver Strand is that good, we're going to find out. Wasn't the dam of Silver Strand, India, was that Peachtree Stable, Todd Fletcher? I think once lost at a very short price in a photo.
I'm not sure about that.
I was trying to think if she was by Hennessy, but, you know, if
I think India is that. I was kind of thinking maybe Aaron Jones or something like that.
Okay. All right. I was just guessing. I probably should have looked it up. But I think you're right. I think Shalimar Gardens, I think,
Sure.
is to me the horse to beat in here. And when I went to beat him is, you know, the veteran in the group scheduled to make the 10th start is number 2, Moon Love, going out for Ray Handel, Joel Rosario. 3 times in the off-going, 3/3. You know, the numbers aren't fast enough to win this race, but I know the Buyer Par reads like 80 wins this race, and Ogotten Girl, I guess, would threaten that number for me. She's 2-1. Maybe made a mistake there, but especially based on, I think, will be on the front end. And as I said, I think speed is going to be very beneficial. Pace setters on the pace. It was helpful yesterday, but 2-3-5 for me.
India is Lion Stables, who does not ring a bell.
Then I'm as far off as possible.
Yeah, does not
Pay
ring a
no
bell.
attention to me and
To me
what I
either.
said.
To me either. Race 6 of State Bred Maiden Special Weight. 3-year-olds and up, 6 on the main track. Look who pops up here.
Who?
Fenway for Bob Baffert.
These Yankees swept them out. 1-2-6. If I'm going to take it first, sir, you know, I want a price, and Mark Henning's horse has been working sharply. I'm on the inside. Dylan Davis. Just go. Let's see if we can get this. I'll take the second time starter, Gold Panda, who's 6-5, getting right near that less well angle. Boy, you don't see too many bullets. I think Lacey Gaudet had a runner the other day that had like 4 bullets coming in, ended up scratching. Charlie Baker.
Yeah, you know why
had,
they scratched, right? That was the one they couldn't identify, or they seemingly couldn't identify, right?
No, I don't. Is that what
Yeah.
happened?
You didn't hear that story?
They didn't have like the tongue tattoo and it didn't
Well,
match?
It, quote unquote, didn't look like the markings didn't look like what they said they were. Got all the way to the backstretch. They scratched the horse 3 minutes to post.
How'd they get out of the paddock? I thought that's where they check, in the paddock. They had that binder. They
Above-
come out, they look.
Above my pay grade, my
And
friend.
then Fenway for Bob Baffert, the speed, adding blinkers. The into mischief is, you know, the race goes through, you know, I was just a tough race. You have the 2 and the 6 to the horizontals. I mean, this has got to be awful for horizontal players, right? I don't think the 2 and the 6 wraps up this race.
I don't know. Things are now obviously thrown
Crazy.
in the loop, out of the loop with the off track. I thought the 6 just had to win. That's wrong. I screwed that up. That's on me.
I was gonna
6-3-2.
say.
6-3-2. That's my bad. Not our great crew. I don't know. You said it. Speed, outside attack post, 4 obviously open maiden special weights at Santa Anita. gives this mount to John Velasquez.
Fenway's gonna be hectic.
I'm not giving out anything clever in here. You know what I tried to do? I tried to get Gold Panda out of the Exacta.
Okay, that was your end.
The
okay.
$4.80 Exacta.
Yeah, that's another thing you're supposed to do.
Yeah, V pattern, blinkers off, first time gelding, second time to pass, 26%. Remember I said this to you the other day. I said, are you irritated about these stats? Because that's a stat you would have in your back pocket. Ratio to pass, 26%. Second out maiden, so we'll put that one on top. In second, excuse me, 632. Like I said, nothing clever here at all.
One of the things that, you know, they still don't do is, because I have trainers and the horses, my thing is, in all of racing, every single day, is horses that run better than odds and horses that run worse than odds. And that's something that I can't see any way they could get in there. And that's why I'm interested in the second and third pieces. They take less note, but you know, these horses are running second and third with 12-to-1 shots. And I'm a trifecta player. That's what I want. But you're right. Less information, public sale would be better. On to the seventh. Many moons ago, they used to shorten these races up to 9 furlongs, but they stopped doing that. This will be run at 10 furlongs, right?
Yeah, they'll go out, right? Oh, they're going to run at the mile and a quarter?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
But about 25 years ago, they just decided all these marathons would be 9, but then they got away from that. So they'll shorten up to the closest dirt available distance, which is 10 furlongs, I believe. Optional 80s, non-winners of 2 other than with, just confirmed by, that's it.
11, 5, 7, 10 for me. You know, backside of the moon's the class here. Pat Reynolds, it's great to see Pat back. It's been a couple of years now, obviously, but it's good to see him back. He does a good job. I would think he can move this horse up. The class drop is pretty seismic. Got speed from the outside. That's beneficial. We'll have now, obviously, that longer run into the first turn. Dyna Drive's got some dirt form for Maker. The slop race 2 back was solid enough to a runaway winner. Number 7, Clayton the Lionheart. Jeez, he's got speed here, a big run, 2 back, and then certainly Tommy Shelby for Diodoro is going to hit hard here as well.
I mean,
hopefully we'll get the scratches.
My one thing is, I think the 1, the 3, the 4, the 9, the 8 are out. That's just, once again, handicap the field. So you're going to have, they're going to start at the 8th pole. I'm thinking a field of 6 maybe. The MTOs, I think, have this race over the barrel. To me, I would just take Clayton the Lionheart because I want the speed. So I would take 7, 10, 11 in what I suspect is going to be a field size about half of what's entered.
All right. We'll take another break here on the Handicappers Report. When we come back, late pick 3 time on a wet day here at the spot.
Welcome to the West. I'm Scott Varley at Saratoga's latest and greatest high-rise luxury condo. Starting in the mid-5s, every condo here has 2 bedrooms and 2 baths and upgrades just like this. Check out these oversized private balconies. We also have a gym, a private lounge, and get this, a heated parking garage. To make a reservation for your private condo at the West, call or text me. I'm Scott Varley at 518-281-6808.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad. Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Handicappers Report. Brian and Anthony with you on just a crazy monsoon-like day here at Saratoga. We are off the turf, obviously. We're hoping to get scratches during Racing Across America. Thank you. I'm not seeing them yet, and they might be a little later today with so many very likely coming out, all the races washed off. It is what it is. Proceed accordingly, act accordingly. We're hoping we're a go today, but that is 3 hours and
2.5 days ago. This was my favorite race on the card.
15, 16 minutes away. So
I was very happy
we'll
with
see.
lightning low.
50,000 claimer here for 3-year-old fillies. We go 9 furlongs. Yes.
Yes.
And
how about the three
guessing game?
How about the 3 MTOs are 5, 10, and 12 to 1? And remember, when David sets that morning line, he can set them knowing it's a dirt race. It's like, that's not their turf.
Yeah, I don't, quite frankly, I didn't understand that because Carrick was second last time for Noda in a 50 starter. I didn't really get that at all. David does a very, very good job.
But why would you like any of those three? I mean, what I do agree with on the thing is, like, I don't think this is as opposite as the other one is. This one's like, their luck might be that the one that I fancy very much might not run. The 4 might not run. The 5. I do think, looking at the other ones, the 3 might not run. Are you thinking that the 7 was hoping to get this? The non-turf race?
The 6 and the 7 are clearly staying in.
The 6 and 7 you would...
This race will have a little belly to it, at least.
Yes.
The 4's got to stay in, by Lee out of a pulpit mare.
Well, that also...
Claiborne through and through there. Wow.
Yeah, but only try. I mean, I would stay in because of the thing.
Yeah, the only off-track try was not pretty. Good point.
Yeah. It says it was on a fast racetrack at Gulfstream. To me, I would change this up. I like Vegas Weekend. Once again, just the idea that I'm not worried about the distance so much, even though this horse has only gone beyond a mile once and scored a victory, but I have some semblance of good early speed, and Ricardo Santana, I think, pretty much figured that out. I'd go with the 7. I'd go 7, 9, and then, if they're going to leave, I don't know, they're going to leave the 10 in here, but I like the 7 here. That's where I would definitely go to, and I hope they stay in. I think the 6 and the 7 are definitely the 2 usual suspects that this is the race they wanted. Maybe not this much rain, but I like the 7 in here. Now you have this.
I had it 6-7. I mean, first time on the dirt for Danny Gargan since the claim from Steve Asmussen. Solid dirt form, really good dirt form, to be honest, at Churchill and Oaklawn. Tactical speed, so she's not letting anyone get too far away. If Ricardo likely takes the initiative on Vegas Weekend. Those are 2-turn races. Fausto Gutierrez trains the Trusca, best filly mare in the country. So you got good connections in here and a jockey that knows what to do on the front. So I would think those are the 2. But again, we'll see what the scratches look like. I've got it 6-7-2 on the off.
And I think it's one of those races that the 3 MTOs are not the King Kongs in the race.
Agree.
On to the 9th race, the State Bred annual premier sprint up here, 6.5 furlongs, the Union Avenue.
Rob Atras is having himself a meet. He's got Maracuja as a main player in the Alabama. You and I will talk about that on Racing Across America at 10 o'clock. We might talk about it for 58 minutes. We're not sure yet. And Sadie Lady is... the morning line says it all. You don't see a 2 to 5. I mean, how many times a year do you see 2 to 5? Less than 10, probably, right?
Absolutely.
I'm saying in the country, let alone New York.
And in stakes races, even fewer.
And she is. She's probably, she might be 1 to 9. Now, her only start in an off track wasn't great. A 3rd with a 67, but if she does anything remotely close to her last 4 starts, she might lap this field. I went Diva Banker for Ray Handel, who's, again, had himself a very, very nice meet, as Ray is known, apt to do up here. Won with a firster the other day that looked really, really good. Helped by a late scratch. But Diva Banker is going to sit off of it. And sometimes in these races, horses try to win and they lose second because of it. Diva Banker is theoretically going to let that all transpire in front of her, and maybe she's going to pick up all the pieces for second. I don't see it. I don't see her running past Sadie Lady.
All right, I like the way Awesome Debate looked 2 races back at Saratoga, running on, a very sloppy racetrack. I just loved the effort, the ability to sit in a position, take over, and receive the 79 Buyer speed figure, which, Sadie Lady is going to have to produce. And I just thought Awesome Debate looked very sharp. I think it's more competitive than 2 to 5, but I could be very wrong here. I didn't think there was that much separating Awesome Debate and Sadie Lady. If you use Buyer speed figures, they both have the highest ever career ones. They both win about 50% of their races, different types of races. But I was comfortable with taking Awesome Debate over the 2 to 5 shot, and then the 4 as a rank outsider. But I thought on paper, a lot of times you look at, and I shouldn't say a lot of times, anybody that's 4 or 3 to 1, 3 to 5, 4 to 5, and 2 to 5, very rare, on the morning line, because we kind of figure they go lower than the morning line. I would say
favorite.
I would say 7 out of 10 races a day, the morning line favorite goes off at a lower price than the morning line. I'm thinking, I don't make her 1 to 5 in this race. I think Awesome Debate is a very true, legitimate, not a stab, a truly legitimate horse. And I like the 2 races back at Saratoga on a racetrack that I think she's going to get again today.
Let's play devil's advocate here. I mean, that race is for Danny Gargan. Her lone race for Bruce Brown off the claim was at 3 to 5.
Right.
Dreadful at Finger Lakes. I do like the fact that she is a winner here in the slop. And as I mentioned earlier, because you handle the slop at Belmont doesn't mean you'll handle the slop at Saratoga. She has shown.
And I think if you watch that race, you would definitely say she handled it. She was, I thought, somewhat athletic in the race. And I, just by her action, I would say felt very comfortable with it and was an easy winner. Was a comfortable winner. And I like her today, the price.
The 10th, also off the turf. State bred fillies and mares here will go 9 on the main because these are older.
And I think
there's
no MTO.
There's no MTO. So what that kind of says to me is a lot of these gals
are staying.
Will stay in. I know you like this race.
I did.
That's
all
moot
gone
now to even talk about it, but you did have some thoughts and a replay and stuff
well,
like
Pop
that.
the Bubbly, the turf try was such in November. I'm like, you waited this long to get back, and Michelle Nevin's a good trainer, so it's not my call, but I love the race. Now, I will say this, when you break from the 11th out of 12th out of the chute at Aqueduct, it's not as brutal as you might first think, but there was a lot in that race, and I hope Pop the Bubbly gets back to the turf before this meet comes out. But
she's running today, though.
Yes. I think they're one of the groups that are probably not too upset but I think you're right. I think if I set
well, who are you?
Nine are running in this race. I think I wouldn't say anybody's coming out. Maybe they take the 1 out.
Well, Chad will take the 4 out, I'm sure.
The 1 and the 4 will come out. Maybe the 7 if you've waited this long and you don't want to debut on the very sloppy and you lose your horse, run down. I don't know, but I'll take Pop the Bubbly, who I liked very much in a turf race. Yeah, and I think the difference here will be price. I think
I got her in second. Yeah.
Pop the Bubbly is going to get bet in this spot. Would probably have gotten lost against the 4 and the 7 in the turf race, but Pop the Bubbly for Michelle Nevin, a war dancer who's having a very good meet. Stayed in off the turf for 9 furlongs, ran third. It's going to be off the turf at 9 furlongs again today. Throw the 4 out. I agree with you. I don't think the entry number 1 is going to stay in here. I don't know where I would go underneath because I have to tell you.
Well, the 6 has got it. I mean, come on, the 6 is.
You have to go. I mean, that's it. Everybody else is like, and I guess the 11. That's it for me. So the 1 on top, the 5 on top, the 5,
scratches.
6, 11.
No scratches
No.
yet. We're hopeful to get them during Racing Across America, but again, that's a work in progress. As I look outside this tent right now, it's it hasn't slowed
It's
up.
piling on.
It is piling on. So I've got it 6, 5, 11. We know the 6 will run. We'll know the 5 is going to run. Who else will run to be determined? But we also know at 9:59 in the a.m. it brings us to an end of the Handicappers Report. We hope to get Steve Bick, who's out in California for the Pacific Classic. We hope to get Steve Bick for the DePaula play of the day, and we've got another hour, Anthony and I. Bri, you saying anything? Yep, we're going to do it later as our fearless leader, Brian D. in the control room has told us. So Steve Bick and the DePaula play of the day will be on during Racing Across America. And that's not a bad thing, because Racing Across America will be kind of a little
Light.
little jam band kind of experience, because as I mentioned, we were up there. We're going to talk Alabama, though, and it is Alabama weekend. They drew it yesterday. They got a 7-pack in Alabama. Malatat's back, and I think we'll get to it in a second. I do think it's a fork in the road kind of race, and we'll talk about that on Racing Across America. You've got it there. We'll dope it out. I think it's I'll tell you what, I think it's a race where Malatat does not have to win. That's for sure. So we'll change our outfits and come back and do the second Sports Center here in a second. Stay tuned for Racing Across America at 10.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. In front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Ballbrook. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart very dominant. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish to the top. Here's the winner. Photo finish.
The Capital Region has some of the most sophisticated horse racing fans in the country. That's why Capital OTB built the Clubhouse Racebook. Here you can wager year-round on the best horse racing from around the world. The Clubhouse also has monthly promotions including live bankrolls, handicapping contests, and so much more. Like sports? Watch your favorite teams on more than 30 screens in Legends Field Sports Grill. Food, sports, and the excitement of championship horse racing. Only at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
At DePaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience to be fair and easy. Family owned since 1980, DePaula means quality and convenience, along with concerned and certified technicians. So come join the family and thank DePaula for all your automotive needs. At DePaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience to be fair and easy. Over $2 million in original factory parts means you receive the very best for any make or model. So come join the family and thank DePaula for all your automotive needs.
It's post. You've been watching the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.